Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. This is issue number 24, and this is finally the pulleys and belts for the fan and compressor. It looks like the biggest trouble this week is going to be actually figuring out which piece is which, because they all look pretty similar. So that's interesting. It's largely AP screws and a couple of AM screws. And everything is going on the engine block here on the front of the block, which I think actually is the rear in the car, as we go on. So let's get started. And like I say, this is a lot of trying to figure out which pulley piece is which. A lot of them are the same size, more or less, and pretty similar looking. So hopefully not too bad, but I think that's where today's difficulty is going to be, because yeah, I can't really tell looking at them what the difference between some of these pulley pieces is, and I don't think they're marked anywhere that I can see. So hopefully the pictures are good, and it's not too bad. We'll find out shortly. So I got my AP and AM screws here, just getting all the pulley pieces out. And two drive belts, and the alternator pulley, you know, that one's easy to spot. That's not too bad. The picture makes it look like there's an obvious difference between the drive belts too, but I think they're two rubber bands of the exact same size. So hopefully that's fine too. So that's the one really obvious one. We got the piece for the alternator. So we start by finding piece 24C. And attaching it to the bottom post of the engine. So, does anything besides the one I've just picked up look like that? Not really. There's another one. There's two pieces that look similar, but they have different size holes in them, so can only fit one of them. And I'm going to go with that one. Then 24C, which looks like it's just flat. So I'm going to take the flat one, put that on, and it fit. Now we get tricky, 24A. Okay, so that looks right. None of these other ones look right. Okay, so this one has a flat surface there and a dish surface there, and that looks like the right thing in the instructions, I guess. AP screw. Nope, this is an AM screw because we're going into a metal post. I think everything else is going into plastic. Okay. So this all sandwiches together to form a couple of pulleys, which do rotate a little bit. I'm not sure if they're supposed to. It's very tight. I'm going to leave it that way. It doesn't really need to turn because there's no cylinders. Okay, so following that, I have to put piece 24D, and I am guessing that I'm looking at 24D here because it's got a flat back, and a dished out front, and that looks like the picture. There is a step coming up that looks similar, but it shouldn't have the flat back, so I think this is right. And that goes over the upper post. And then that gets filled in by something with a cone top. There's two cone top pieces, but this is the one that's a size similar to the last one. The other one's quite a bit smaller. So that's going to go on. And that is secured with an AP screw. So far, I've put several pulleys down here and built a pulley up here. All of these pieces, what they're doing is they're having you kind of fit a spacer and a pulley as several pieces rather than an actual block. So they're getting the effect with cheaper parts, and that's fine. Okay, now alternator piece, that's easy. Alternator's the only one that looks like a bit from an alternator. And then that smaller coned piece is actually going to be the pulley bit for that. The cone actually goes in. That makes sense, because again, we get a pulley body out of it. Okay, so, oh, and I've taken off a fuel line. We got our alternator pulley up here. See if I can fix that fuel line real quick. I might have to glue those so they don't do that again. Okay, so now we take the remaining two pieces and we actually put them together first. So there's this kind of mushroom-shaped piece, and it fits through the flat side, not the hollow side of this. And this is going to go on the AC compressor, I believe it is, and be secured with another AP screw. Okay, so the last two steps here are putting the belts on, and the book shows a triangular belt and a round belt. Well, an oblong belt. Now you tell me, is either one of those triangular? Because I don't think so. And they certainly appear to be the same size to me. So I'm not going to worry too much unless one of them clearly doesn't fit. So the first is the back of the main drive pulley, the alternator, and the top pulley here. See if I can square this up a little bit. Alright, that's not bad looking, huh? It's a drive belt. And then the other one goes between the AC compressor and the primary drive pulley. I think I must get another one at some point, but maybe not. I think water pump? I guess that's the water pump up here. So, there we go. We got some belts. And that's it for this week's build. Next week we are doing more engine. I struggle to remember what it is. I think it's exhaust pieces, and that'll be pretty quick too. If you like what you see, of course, please click on the cat to subscribe and watch the rest of my videos. There's a playlist of this now on 24 episodes long, Back to the Future DeLorean. You can watch that. And we've resumed building the Ghostbusters Ecto-1. You can watch that if you like too. Have a good one, guys.